Bonjour les amis, bienvenidos una vez más a nuestro canal de YouTube. En esta serie de entrevistas que siempre os traemos, hoy hemos traído a dos personas, no solamente a una. Ellas son las herederas de la familia Durante, fundadores de la maravillosa marca de perfumes italianas Profumum Roma. Estamos aquí con Flavia y con Giulia. Bienvenuti.
Gracias, gracias.
Es lo único que sé decir en italiano y grazie.
Gracias.
Dos palabras muy importantes. Thank you for being here with us. It's a very big pleasure for Les Secrets du Marais to have you here, to have all this history in your own persons. Incredibly for us, how do you have created this brand with your ancestors, of course? We're going to start for the first beginning, the history of Profumum Roma. So please, feel you free to tell me all the secrets about your family, concerning the fragrances, of course. So please, tell me.
Okay, thank you really for having us here. Our history begins in 1956, maybe, yes, when our grandfathers Celestino came from the Second World War with injuries from the war to his small pueblito, his small village, Sant'Elena Sannita, and he knew our grandmother. They get married and they should have a nice, calm life in this small pueblito, Sant'Elena, but instead they decide to create a new way, a new life in a big city like Rome, the capital. So decide to take their small pack, the small luggage, and with the small bicycle and way came in Rome, opened the first perfumery that gets started all our history. This is the reason why we are here, and maybe they should thank them every day for having these amazing fragrances. It's very linked with Sant'Elena Sannita, the history of parfum. In Italy and several in Rome, all the main perfumery are related to Sant'Elena Sannita. Mm-hmm. Because we are linked to the, how do you say, arrotino? I don't know, this old figure that work with the shapes of the knives and all this stuff. And so the barber part of the perfumery, so the lotion after shave and the soap,
kind of articles and products.
Yes, starting from that, they opened this perfumery with small stuff. And of course, our parents, my mother and my uncles and his fathers, of course, started with working there, creating something new.
Then it became the story of four brothers. So my father, my mother,
Giuseppe, Maria,
Luciano, and Felice. The famous four brothers. They, thanks to the heritage of the parents of our grandfathers, they wanted to push it even more. They wanted to make it even more unique. They wanted really to be beyond, the laws of commercial perfumery. So they took a big risk at the time because it was really a pioneer act to separate themselves from the big brands, the big known brands, mainly the French brands. And so they risked it, they wanted to risk, and they created their own brand with their own vision, Profumum Roma. Profumum Roma, of course, is very symbolic of our heritage, of our geography even.
Talking about the inspiration of the brand and the concept, the philosophy, I think Rome is an historical city full of big buildings and monuments and all these stories. You have a lot of fragrances, 36 if I will remember, or even more. And in each fragrance, you can find a little piece of the history of Rome.
Yes.
Here, we have just taken a selection of 3 because, it's incredibly pixelated. How do you choose the raw materials? Which kind of raw materials do you prefer? If there is some DNA of the fragrances?
Yeah, I think you touched a very important point. We want to showcase the symbol of Rome and our roots, even in the composition of the fragrances. So, for example, we want to really showcase mainly natural raw materials, and the formula, the olfactory, pretty simple compared to other classical, perfumes. The oil is very prominent in the composition. So this is
all of them, they have high concentrations
Right.
of oil.
I would say this is part of the DNA of the brand.
And also, it's quite important to say that we want to start from our inspiration, our life. We want to communicate to every person in a simple way. It's quite important that this is for everyone. So it's touching our emotion, our life, and our memories. So you know that olfactive part of the brain is quite connected to the remembrance one. So for us, it's quite immediate, this joint venture from memories and parfum. Flavia, do you want to speak about Acqua di Sale? Because it's quite important to communicate this in our fragrance and our history.
Yeah, well, Acqua di Sale is one of our most known perfumes. It's one of our bestsellers. And
Thank you.
I will say also this kind of composition it's a marine composition. It was even heuristic at the time because no one, I think, wanted to touch marine notes in perfumery because it's not classical notes, it's not floral notes, it's not oriental notes. It was a different twist in perfumery and kind of risky as well.
Normally more in Italy or in Spain, no? We have always in mind that fresh fragrance should be with citrus things,
Right,
no?
like
Like
cologne.
lemon or bergamot or whatever,
Yes.
or cologne, no? This idea is in our heads all the time, but I think Acqua di Sale remains a fresh fragrance, but with a totally different approach.
It is fresh, but it's not fresh in the common way. Of course, it's a marine note, it's a marine accord. So we have myrtle, we have seaweeds, and we have cedar woods. But apart from the ingredients, it's not freshness in the common way because seaweed, it gives a lot of power to this fragrance. So on the skin, this is really, really long lasting. So I wouldn't say it's fresh. Of course, it's not oriental fragrance. Yeah.
Where did you find inspiration for Acqua di Sale? Why the name of Acqua di Sale?
This is very emblematic for Italy and the Mediterranean, because the inspiration, of course, is our coastline, it's our beaches, it's
Mediterranean
our
Sea.
rivieras.
For us, it's like the freedom, the smell of the freedom, because the holiday, usually for us, Mediterranean, is in the seaside. What do you bring after these wonderful, simple days? That this is very common because it's a simple experience that you can do, I can do. It's not like the classical way to inspire people, like top model, nice body and very sophisticated, very glamorous,
and
No,
chic,
it's
and
very simple.
Yeah.
It's about
It's like
emotion.
authentical.
It's
Yeah.
authentic.
Emotional. Yeah.
It's emotional.
For me, I remember always the song of Sapore di mare.
Sì.
No? La tua pelle. It's a fragrance of skin, no? Where you can smell very good. When you smell it in your skin, it's incredible the sensation that you feel, no?
The diffusion, you need to put it on the skin. And as also Giulia said, it's the smell of your skin, like salty skin, just after a splash in the ocean, and it's warmed like by the sun. So it gives you it transports you back to summer, back to your favorite beach.
It's very sensual as well, no? So unisex, totally.
It's
for
totally
makeup,
unisex.
and you can use this in the morning, in the evening, for a special occasion or for every day. So the next one, which one do you prefer? Well, for us, we have chosen these three.
Antico Caruso is quite different and it's similar because it's speaking about our memories, and it's about we are in these small places, this small square in a small village in the south of Italy, but also the south of Spain because we are quite similar. These men that after this very special ritual for them, the sharing in a barbier. They're like opening this newspaper on this table of the bar, taking the espresso and speaking about the life and the news on the paper. They have this moment at this scent because you can smell like the aftershave, but it's not aftershave. It's very
There's the cleanness.
cleanness and elegance for the men, and this Mediterranean orange blossom, lavender, the almond. So here we are back to this image.
So maybe it's a little classical, of course, but I have the impression that this fragrance is as well very actual, very modern as well, because now we came back as well for these authentic moments as well, when you find the people, as you say, that has been just clean and shaved and combed, and then ready to wear everything, even a white shirt or just jean, and then you can start your day with the confidence that you smell clean and elegant and a little sophisticated as well for me,
It's like it was the ritual back then, and now there's still some classical heritage barbershop, but there's not of them now. But
but it doesn't smell classical aromatic like a lavender or a fougere. I think it's
still modern.
a little more sparkling, maybe.
It's very classical. So classical is without times.
That's it. Yeah,
so I think that.
And then it comes back.
Yes. And for example, when I propose to our customer, in young men, they get in love with these fragrances because it's like to remember their fathers and their grandfathers and what they want to be.
Exactly.
So it's like something that is always
like an
always.
inspirational, this kind of things that
it is.
Allows you to grow as a person, in your personality as well.
It is.
Okay, and then finally, we choose Suavissima. Sorry, my Italian pronunciation.
Perfect. This Suavissima, I think, also has elegance, like from back in the days, almost like Antico Caruso, but more on the feminine side, even though all our perfumes are unisex.
To be honest, Antico Caruso, I could wear it as well.
Absolutely.
Yes, because it's masculine, but it's not very, very strong. It's not very limited. So.
Yes. Suavissima, in this case, we have more florals compared to Antico Caruso, like violet accord, iris, and this musk accord, which gives this kind of powdery touch.
That's it, yeah.
And it's very
tall color, remember me this
like
sensation,
all cosmetics.
Like a lipstick or the holistics as well.
Exactly, that's
the
why.
lipsticks today, they don't do
I know,
don't smell.
They had an amazing smell back in the days. They had this kind of violets, rose.
Yeah, for us maybe it's like this divas of 20s that is going on these big stars and they with their very elegant velvety dress and the décolleté is very generous as well.
This
is Suavissima, I think. Yes, quite elegant.
Also it's very chic. It's not exuberating. It's not like things that it's quite sparkling. No, it's more confident and for yourself.
Yes.
And there is a certain freshness to it, and to me, it reminds me a lot of the old talc. The powdery talc, which I loved, and now it's like something back from the day. No one uses it anymore, but it's really romantic.
I would like to know if you have a special place in your heart for one of the histories of the fragrance. Something that touched you in your childhood or
I have one, like all of them, but one that is very emblematic for the Roman, the history of ancient Rome, that my father was really fond about it. Also, he knew everything about all the history, the old emperors and legions. In this case, Victrix was one of the most known and famous legion in the ancient Rome, which never lost a battle in their history, and I'm really fond about this perfume. Yeah.
And what about for you?
Maybe in my childhood, I remember some of my uncles, but also my mother, used to wear a lot Tundra. Tundra is one of the first, in 1996 we were born with 6 fragrances, Acqua di Sale of course, also Tundra and Suavissima as well, and others. And in my memories, Tundra is the smell of my family. And Tundra is the smell of the forest, of Tundra.
Of the earth,
it's quite humid, and this patchouli and this mint is an amazing fragrances that bring us in a forest. So, but brings me with my family.
So your memories and your
yes,
family.
yes.
That's for sure. And what about the future of Profumum Roma? Because I think it's a story of a family. And do you think for the next generation could be interested in continue the story of Profumum Roma?
I hope so. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure that it's going to be like that. You know, it's quite difficult because now our the perfumery world is so big and complicated now. A lot of brand, very interesting and new one every year. But we are very confident because it's.
And I think you have still out of the industry. I mean,
yes, it is.
You are loyal to your principles and to your history and to your way of creation. And even though the others one could do a lot of interesting things, of course, and a lot of different concepts, but you remain you're not loyal to your history and to your principles.
I would say that we don't like to follow trends, and of course nowadays there's many trends in many businesses and many brands. They need to follow them to survive maybe, and to stay relevant. But I think it's also very important to stay true to the history of one brand. In this case, we are
to ourselves, to our soul also.
We are a family, so there's individuals behind a logo. And even though it could be like counter-intuitive nowadays, not following trends, I think it's more important to stay true to ourselves. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I know that maybe in the next few weeks we will have a surprise.
Yes.
I have a little bird that told me.
Do you want to smell?
Well, yes, of course. After the interview. Lo siento, chicos, pero vosotros no vais a poder olerla hasta dentro de unas semanas. Pero yo voy a tener la oportunidad de oler esa maravilla de la que me han contado cositas y que tengo unas ganas locas de ver cuál es la próxima fragancia que lanzan en Profumum Roma. Well, guys, thank you very much. It was so grateful for me also to have you here, and well, maybe next time for a continuation of this history.
Maybe in Rome.
I hope so. Bueno, chicos,
gracias.
A todos vosotros muchísimas gracias otra vez. Espero que os haya gustado. Si queréis seguirnos, ya conocéis nuestras redes sociales, nuestra página web y nuestro número de teléfono. No dudéis en poneros en contacto si necesitáis más información, y venid a conocer todas las fragancias de Profumum Roma, que son una maravilla. ¡A viento!